Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Citrus Twist Kit. And this video is part of the 3 to Inspire blog post that is up today. Before I get into the prompts for this week's 3 to Inspire, I just want to show you what I'm working with. And I'm going to use a little bit of the Love Stories Life Crafted Kit, but I'm going to focus a lot of what I'm going to use. It's going to come from an add-on kit that it was also revealed. And this kit has a flair for Valentine's without being overly pink. So you're going to see that there's pieces that are rainbow colors. You're going to hit the ephemera from the La La Love collection from Crepe Paper. So it's going to be some Valentine themes, but there's also colors from those enamel shapes and all the puffy stickers. You're going to see all the papers. There are some hearts. We're talking about Valentine's, but there's also blues and teals, and there's a hint of purple. Perfect colors. They all match the Life Crafted kit, but this kit also works on its own. Now, the only thing missing on this kit is the chipboard frames from Pink Fresh Studio, which did not make it to my kit. But overall, perfect. So what I want to do for this week's 3 to Inspire prompt, it was the prompts are to use a black and white picture, to be inspired by a shape, to repeat a shape, and also to use a family of colors. So kind of go monotone. So this cut file is called Diamond Heart, and it's available to subscribers for free. Every subscriber to Citrus Twist Kit has access to a number of cut files. This is one of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it because those little triangles that are in the background is going to be my repetitive shape in this layout. So my idea is I'm going to add a little bit of mixed media. So what I've done is I've traced the outline of the heart onto a piece of this is marshmallow cardstock from Basel, so it's a little bit thicker. It's gonna withstand the mixed media. And I'm bringing my Pink Fresh Studio watercolors, which are available at the Citrus Twist Kit shop, just to play, add a little bit of color just to some areas of the heart. And I'm gonna play with a lot of the teals, the blues, a lot of blue, because I'm gonna document a picture of my husband and our baby, which is our Boston Terrier dog. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna add some mixed media, just light watercolor. I'm gonna go from teal to sky blue to actually navy. So the colors that I'm using for the background are aquamarine, sky blue, and sapphire. These are all for Pink Fresh. And all I'm gonna do after tracing is I'm gonna add a little bit of water to the area where I'm adding the color, and then I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of the color, some droplets, and then just gonna let them mix together and kind of move them around. I don't want something really deep. You're gonna see that I kind of take away a lot of the water. I just want a faint, not a faint, I want the watercolor to show, but I don't want it to be so vivid. So you're gonna see right now I'm adding the blue and it looks really vivid, but don't worry, I'm actually gonna spread it. I'm gonna move it a little bit down, and I'm gonna soak up the excess water, in this case, or pigment, so it doesn't stain. But super simple. Again, I'm not gonna create the entire background full of color. I'm just gonna add it to certain areas. So when I drew the heart, I also put the picture, so to give me an idea where I'm gonna place it, and I'm just gonna add a bit of color to kind of frame the picture. And you're gonna see that that's pretty much all I'm gonna add to the side of the page. Now I'm thinking about kind of an L design, diagonal design. So I'm gonna go to the top left corner of the heart in this case, and I'm gonna add some color. And I wanna add color here because it's gonna accent the curvature, or in this case, the line of the heart. And it's also gonna help me create my triangle so that I can create the focus around the page. And again, I'm just playing with some of the watercolors. I'm just adding a little bit of water, a little bit of the pigment, and let it move kind of organically. And you're gonna see that I based a lot of my work on splatters, and in this case it's gonna work because I'm not gonna need much. I'm actually gonna back the cut file with some of the papers, so just one little pops of color. Like I said, it's gonna help me bring more of the masculine tone, and it's also gonna help me frame the areas, create kind of my triangle on the page where I'm gonna add my accent. That's about it. And I'm gonna set it aside to dry. While that is drying, I am gonna go ahead and actually back the cut file. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use vellum for parts of this cut file. And the idea is if I put the mixed media in the background, I want to show some of it. And I love the translucency of the vellum is going to lend to this page. So what I'm going to do is any single piece that I back with vellum, I'm going to glue straight onto the cut on the back part. And then I'm just gonna, like I said, I look for all the papers that had teal, blue, even a shade of purple or royal blue, just to back the triangles in this area. So all I'm doing is using the cut file just to draw the area of the triangle, and then I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm gonna use foam adhesive to attach it. I wanna create dimensions. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna use quite a bit of foam adhesive. In this case, I'm using Pop Dots. And you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna cut some of them because I don't want the foam adhesive to show. So I'm gonna take some time and I'm just gonna kind of fill as much as I can of the little triangle on the back and then glue the piece of paper that I cut. And that's just gonna create that soft shadow. And because it's such a simple design, it's gonna help, like I said, create the dimension, create the shadow, and bring a lot of interest to the page without doing, I couldn't stitch. I didn't want to stitch because there's it's called a masculine page, so I didn't want to add stitching, so I thought about adding dimension instead. So the combination of the vellum being, like I'm going to say, straight backing onto the page, to the heart, and then that little shadow from the foam adhesive are going to be great for this triangle, especially because it's such a linear shape. And then once I had everything back, I added a little bit of foam adhesive to those areas that where I put the vellum, just so it's everything on the same level, and I'm going to glue it straight onto the layer. Super simple. So you're going to see that exactly where my watercolor is at, that's where everything is going to be seated. So all I did is I'm actually pulled some blue, has a lot of vellum. I'm a vellum addict. So I put some blue vellum to back the picture, and then I'm using the pieces of ephemera and also some of the free printable cards that are available to subscribers for free on the Citrus Twist Kit shop. After that, I'm going to use some of the papers that I used on the background just to back the picture, to add some layers, to marry the colors that I have in the watercolor and also in the triangles behind the picture. Then I'm going to keep it pretty simple. It's not a complicated layout. It's mostly, I'm going to say I wanted to keep it very masculine, even though it's a Valentine's Day picture. And this picture was actually from last year, Valentine's. And my husband was home, and I decided that, and this is pretty much how the dog spends his day. If I'm home by myself, he's with me. But if my husband's home, he's with him. So I want to take a picture of them. And if you see the picture, it looks like my dog is smiling. So I love this picture. So going back to the layout. So all I'm going to do right now, you see those acetate pieces? Those are in the Love Stories kit this month. Beautiful pieces. So beautiful. This kit is gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of the black pieces just to create my title. Again, the U, can't read it that well, but it says U. And I'm using a little bit of glue just behind the areas that are going to glue onto the cardstock. And then I'm going to bring these little enamel shapes, and these are from Dear Lizzie, and they're just going to help me marry the idea of the triangles that I repeated. Now, I love all these pieces, those acetate pieces, but when you put them against the picture, because it's black and white, they kind of fade into the background. So my choice is to cut a piece of vellum. I don't want to lose the translucency of the acetate, so I'm going to cut a piece of vellum that fits to the sides. I'm not gluing it. Instead, I'm going to staple them together right onto the picture, and that's going to hold together the acetate to the picture to the vellum. Perfect, and now you can read what the acetate piece says. After that, I'm just going to bring a little bit more of those accents of the colors, the teals, the blues, using some of the little hearts, the puffy hearts that come in the Heidi Swap sticker sheet that's included in the add-on kit. And also, I'm going to bring more of those enamel dots. I'm going to bring hearts. I just try to go, like I said, I wanted a very masculine layout. And we are all loving those chipboard pieces. These are all included in the kit. There's a little bag with chipboard hearts that are gold speckled. So we're loving it. And then again, I'm going to create I'm using a tag. So I'm going to add a piece of string, but I don't want to create a bow. I think of a bow, I think a lot of a girl. So I'm just going to kind of use my glue just to give a little bit of movement. After that, you're going to see that I'm going to bring in a few stamps. And this month, add-on stamps are great. They talk about love. They talk about everyday situations. There's so many sentiments that you can use. So I'm going to start first of all with the add-on stamp. And I'm going to just add a little bit of a sentiment to the bottom little row of triangles. And it says, that smile makes my heart beat. I remember exactly what it says. But then I found another stamp in this is the T, and this is the stamp that comes in the kit. Sorry. That says you are my person. And really the dog my husband is his person. So I just, wanted to add it there. And then I went and reached into last month's TN stamp. There was a little sentence that says, feels so good. So I thought, loving you feels so good. That's going to complete my title. I'm going to bring a little accents of white. So I brought some puffy stickers as little stars, and I'm just going to add them to the clusters that I've created. And then I'm going to use the line of the heart just to add my lines of journal. Now, the only thing they're going to see me add right now, that's some of the blue watercolor paint that I had on the side. And then I added a little bit of iridescent paint just to make it a little bit sparkly. And then I'm going to add a few a few droplets around all the clusters that I created. I want to emphasize the blue. And since there's a lot of white, I think a little bit of messiness is not going to help. It's not going to hurt. Sorry, not help. It's not going to hurt. And that's pretty much it. Super simple. I love the layout. Remember, the prompts are: use a black and white picture, use a repetitive shape, and stay to a family of colors, or like in this case, a monochromatic approach to the layout. That's about it. And if you check the blog, Citrus Twist Kids, you're going to find another project created using the same prompts, but for the life crafted album. So don't forget to check the blog. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and have fun, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.